Hey guys, let's dive right into this beautiful handmade custom knife. This video might be a little longer than normal because this is from a brand new maker on the market. And I want to do a little bit of a maker's spotlight, if you will. I'm super excited about this knife and about this company, Oden Customs. Okay? A little bit about Jim, the owner. And I have a ton of notes here, okay? But I'm not going to just read this whole list of notes that I took while talking with him and some information that he sent me. I don't want to do that. I do want to, and I haven't really talked to him about this yet, and let's just pop this open so you guys have something to look at for a moment. I haven't talked to him about this yet, but as a lot of you know or may not know, I am also part of a podcast that goes out monthly. It's a video podcast. We do a live YouTube once a month-ish, but we're trying to kind of step that up and do twice a month and be a little bit more regular, a little more structured. And we have guests on from time to time and whatnot. And I would love to have Jim on the podcast to talk about his company, to just talk about his life and how he went from the banking industry into the full-time knife making industry and whatnot. So just a quick few things about Jim. He's 37 years old, born and raised, and still lives in Alabama. Spent 15 years in the banking industry, and now, literally 22 months ago, at the time of filming, yes, less than 2 years ago, started making knives. He's owned thousands and thousands of knives and customs, and he's probably owned every single knife that you could think of out there in the custom world at one time or another. He became really good friends with David over at Freeman Knives and Eric over at Luther Knives. And apparently, David lives like 2 miles away from where Jim used to live. So they got together, and Jim really learned a lot about knife making from David and worked with some of his machines and just some of his stuff. They worked together and kind of trained, mentored, whatnot. Jim. So that's super cool. And without going into all the details, basically there was 4-month period in there where he was shut down. Jim was shut down because they sold their house and they built a new house. So really it's about 18 months of making knives. Just pretty incredible, especially to just dive right in and start with your first knife. This is not the first knife he made, but to start out as a folding company. A lot of knife makers start out by modding existing knives, and then they do a fixed blade, and then they figure out the whole folding knife thing. No, not Jim. He just said, screw it. I'm going straight to folders, and he's come out like gangbusters. So I think that's probably enough of there's a whole bunch more I could talk about him, like literally there's a ton. He's married, he has dogs, he doesn't have a 1-year plan, a 5-year plan, or a 10-year plan, but he does have plans for the business. He taught himself how to use AutoCAD. He taught himself how to use a CNC machine that he has now. He sold almost all of his knife collection to buy machines and to be able to, make knives. So, yeah, his first few knives he cut out on a bandsaw and then, made the knife. Now he uses a CNC machine that he bought. He taught himself how to use and taught himself how to use the software. I mean, it's just an incredible story. And we'll try to get him on the podcast to talk about that from his own words, right? I think that will just come across much better. So now that we have, and I will put a link down in the description to his website. He has a Facebook page. I'll put all his information that I can down below, because I think there are some other videos on YouTube of his knives that he has put up. I don't know, and I could be wrong. Haven't watched every video on YouTube. I may be the first independent reviewer of his knives. That's why I wanted to kind of give a little bit of a backstory about him, how he's doing it, what he's doing, and all of that good stuff. So now let's dive into this knife. Now, I did not get this knife for free. I bought this knife from like the second owner of the knife. And because well, Joseph was a friend of mine. We had like done some deal before and whatnot. We've been talking a lot, and just he's a really great guy, and he offered this up for sale because he's trying to buy a Zelos watch. Back when I bought this, which has been a month or two, and I have a couple of Zelos watches, so I understood that fascination. So I said, sure, I'll take it, and I'll help you with your watch journey, because, that's what good friends do, right? We help enable our buddies to get into more crazy, expensive, dumb hobbies, right? Isn't that's a thing, right? I'm just helping out, just being a good guy. So I bought this Oden Customs Sine Recurve prototype. Okay, so this was the third and final prototype of this Sine version, or Sine model. And that was really a friend of Jim's. He didn't have a name for this. And his friend said, it looks like a sine wave. I get it. So there you go. It became the Sine, S-I-N-E, model knife. Kind of cool. So it's 4 7/8 closed, 8 5/8 overall, 3.74-inch blade, 3.44-inch cutting edge. Now that's kind of a little bit mistake, right? That's from the edge here to the tip here. If you really measured the recurve and this, it'd probably be a little bit longer, right? Linear wise. But I never measure it that way. Even on the Tontos, I always just measure from here to here. Straight line. I don't, there you go. The blade steel on this is Chad Nichols PSF 27 core Damascus. And we'll zoom in on all of this. Trust me, because there's cool stuff to look at. The blade thickness is 0.186. Overall thickness is 0.511. Weighs in at 6.2 ounces and runs on bearings. Very smooth. A little bit of, not perfect smooth, but very smooth. And again, this is a prototype. The other two prototypes had thumb studs. I kind of wished thumb studs. I would have gotten a thumb stud one, but that's okay. I'm totally good with that. So let's take a close-up look. Beautiful Sanmai Damascus. I am a Damascus lover. Like, I just absolutely love Damascus. And I love Damascus. And so you have a very beautiful Zerk blasted Damascus show side with a Zerk blasted Damascus pocket clip, and we'll talk more about the pocket clip in a moment. Zerk blasted titanium lock bar side. Excuse me, all titanium hardware. Blackened titanium pivot collars. The backspacer is the same blade material that Chad Nichols PSF 27. Now what's unique about this one is it actually came with a second backspacer. The original owner wanted a Damascus backspacer as well. So Jim made him a Damascus backspacer to, go in. Now, I am of the opinion, I generally like, which I think is a very cool detail that I didn't really think about until dealing with TJ Fisher on, well, some of the reviews I had done on some TJ Fisher knives from another buddy. And I was talking to TJ on the phone about some of the details in the specs because I wanted to make sure I get it right. And TJ always, and I think it's really just a Fisher family, Todd, TJ, and Frank, generally always use the same blade material for the blade as well as the backspacer or the spine. A lot of times they call that. And it makes a lot of sense when I was talking to TJ because then the materials act the same. For heating, cooling, you can grind them exactly the same because it's the same exact material. So your spacing and everything is going to work. They react the same to heating and cooling processes and things like that. So I thought that was very cool, and I think more people should do that. Especially if you're going to run a Damascus blade, primarily in a Damascus type pattern, a Sanmai type pattern, to have that pattern kind of follow the backspacer is just phenomenal in my opinion. So yes, any of you makers out there that are watching my videos, you're right, nobody. That's a cool thing. Make the backspacer the same material as the blade. Basically 100% of the time. I don't see a reason not to do that. This Frederick knives that I've got, he did. He's got this Damascus blade, which you can see is beautiful. You can see on the edge here. Let's zoom in just to prove my point here. Nice blade edge, back edge, and then very nice backspacer edge. Now, this backspacer is a little bit thicker than the blade because he's got the bearings and whatnot, but you get the idea. Keep it the same, and it just looks awesome. Now, a little bit more about Jim and his customer service. I bought this from the second owner. I got it in, and there was a problem with the pocket clip. Okay, and you guys, I'm sure by now, if you've watched many of my videos, you'll know I have a bit of a pocket clip problem. If it doesn't fit in my pocket, it just ruins the knife. And there was an issue here. Okay, it just was not ground down enough of a ramp on the backside. It went into the pocket, no problem. But where there's the little ramp on this backside, it was basically a 90-degree angle before. So I talked to Jim. I said, hey, I love the knife. I've got just, the pocket clip, I got to be honest with you, it has a problem. And I hope they're not all like that. And he said, no, they're not all like that. And so I shipped it to him. He got it. He literally got it on I think it was on a Friday, and he shipped it back to me on Monday. He tore it down, fixed the pocket clip, kind of ground in that ramp on the back side. And he said, well, there was a couple of scratches, there was a couple things, and he wanted to reheat the clip to match better the show side, which I think he did a fantastic job. There was a little bit more, the coloring was a little different. So by reheating the clip, it really matched this. He Zerk blasted the lock side because there was some scratches, and he just tuned it all up. Went through the entire knife. Had it ready to ship back to me on Monday. I said, great, here's the address, the return address on the box works, blah, blah, blah. And I asked him how much I owed him. He said, nothing. I'll ship it back to you. So I didn't have to pay. Excuse me. I didn't have to pay for shipping. I didn't have to pay for his work, which was at least a few hours at a minimum. Just to take it apart, put it back together, and clean it off is, I don't know. He spent a couple hours, and he didn't charge me. He would not charge me. So that just goes to show you that he cares about the customer. He cares about the quality of his work. He wants everybody to be happy. Now, me personally, the clip thing is a tough thing. It's, for me, if it was just slightly looser, it would be better for me. It would work a little bit better for me personally. But I think detent, pocket clip tension, all of those things are very personal and subjective. And everybody likes their detent a little bit this, a little bit that. Everybody wants their pocket clip a little tighter, a little looser. So I don't take anything away from him on that. It works now. It didn't work before. I could not get it out of my pocket without reaching around and trying to monkey it and whatnot. So now it works fine. A little bit looser, and if I ever do need to send it back in, I'll have him take just a hair off so that it's just a little bit more slide out-ish. Okay? So there you go, guys. This is the Oden Customs Sine Recurve. Beautiful knife. I carry this a lot now because it's just fun. And the story behind it and everything else, I just really, really enjoy it. So please check him out down in the links below. I would greatly appreciate it. And let me know if there's other makers. Excuse me. Let me know if there's other makers that you may be interested in getting a spotlight on. You know, I'm totally down with that. And I will put a link to the Sharp Talk podcast that I am on down below also. So go check out some of those. Some of them, like, they're getting better. Please go check it out. We would love to grow that channel and grow that podcast and do some more live and interactive type things. And we'll definitely post on my channel when we're going to go live and all that stuff. So we'd love to have an interaction on live. I'm not sure I want to do lives on my own channel just yet. And I've talked about this before. I just, you know, if I'm doing their podcast and like 10 people show up to watch, I don't feel so bad because it's not my podcast. If I do a live on my channel and 3 people show up to watch, I'd probably go away depressed because what the hell did I do that for? Like, you know, that's just a personal thing. So I don't know that I'm ready to do lives on my own yet. And I can't decide if I want to do lives like a tabletop or if I want to sit at my, you know, desk over here with the face camera and talk, you know, talking head or face to face. I haven't figured out what I would like to do. So I don't do anything yet. The podcast, though, is a face-to-face interactive type thing. So go check that out. I would appreciate it. And I think I've rambled long enough. Jim, thanks for being such a stand-up guy, giving me all these details about your life, and for doing all of that repair work, if you will. Not that it needed repair, but all of that work and going through this knife for me for free. It's just awesome. I can't thank you enough. So, all right, everybody, have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching. I know this kind of went long, but I think it was good information. So let me know what you think. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.